Alan, slow down. He replaced the White House Christmas tree with what?
A pumpkin! Linkara, a literal giant pumpkin sprouted forth from the earth, came to life, and consumed many promising Secret Service agents, and as usual with this kooky nonsense, you are smack in the middle of it.
Oh, jeez, man.
Well, okay, to be fair, it didn't exactly have an active digestive system, so we were able to just sort of cut them free, and luckily it was very susceptible to fire, but still, it was very traumatic for them.
Pretty sure that happened in a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror segment once.
Yeah, I also have reports coming in of copies of A Christmas Story being replaced by DVDs of Halloween 3.
Honestly, I feel like that's an improvement.
And there are swarms, Linkara, swarms of skeletons ransacking department stores and just destroying every glass ornament they can find.
Okay, that is a problem. It's a good thing we don't have the budget to show that. Nobody's been hurt, have they?
Thankfully, no. But the skeletons do continue to challenge people to sword fights using cardboard wrapping paper tubes.
That sounds like fun.
It gets old quickly, Linkara. Look, you need to get your little ghoul friend's literal war on Christmas stopped before somebody does get hurt.
I know. I tried to see if I could get the ghosts of Christmas to show up and do a Christmas carol on Moarte.
You have access to them.
Both Poyo and Harvey have had dealings with them. They left business cards.
Huh. And has this yielded results?
Afraid not. With the incoming administration, they're fully booked up for the next 4 years trying to convince assholes to change their ways, and even they think it's a lost cause.
Well, you're going to need to think of something, Linkara.
Oh, I'm sure I'll pull something out of my ass. Speaking of the incoming administration, are you gonna be okay? Last time you spoke with not Anton York, you had words.
Oh, I'm sure I'll have more. Don't worry. I've taken precautions. And frankly, he has the memory of a goldfish, so I think I'll be fine.
What do you do for the president anyway?
Better off not knowing, Linkara. You truly are. Point is, I'll be fine. Look, in the meantime, can you please wrap up this little war?
Right on. Oh, by the way, you look like you've been Kraven the Hunter lately. Are you being Kraven the Hunter?
No, that was another guy. Apparently Spider-Man got him. Look, thank you for the plug, Linkara. I have to go.
Huh. Anyway, hello and welcome to A Shock Before Christmas! If you didn't catch all that, Moarte has declared war on Christmas, so I have to review horror comics in December. But hey, it's given us a chance to look at a comic adaptation of The Evil Dead. Previously on the first 2 issues, Ash Williams and Scottyson brought their respective girlfriends, Linda and Shelley, out to a cabin in the woods, along with their friend Cheryl, though in the original movie, Cheryl was Ash's sister. Once there, they discovered a book full of demonic incantations and burial rituals. Fortunately, they did not read Ancient Sumerian, therefore there was no plot and no movie. The end. No, of course, there was a tape recording left behind by the archaeologist who found the book, speaking aloud the ancient passages. And because Ash played the tape again, the evil spirits from the book possess Cheryl and Shelley to attack our heroes. Cheryl ends up locked in the cellar, while Shelley gets dismembered. This would all be incredibly creepy and horrifying, if not for the fact that Ash's personality that he develops 2 movies later is providing narration, so any tension and scares are quickly diffused by Ash going, "Boy, I sure do love being a snarky idiot." So let's dig into The Evil Dead number 3 to 4 and see if I can save Christmas. And if Ash and company can save themselves.
Welcome to A Shock the Fourth Wall, where dead comics rise. Linkara's gonna bring you all a Halloween surprise. Monsters from scary stories and adjacent categories. If you
Issue 3's cover is pretty good. A close-up of a deadite grabbing Ash from behind, and he's making a horrified expression. Although given his narration so far, I wouldn't have been surprised if they included a text box that said, "God, what a stupid-looking grin she had, and I was too busy seeing if I could stretch my mouth far enough to fit my entire fist in it." We open where we left off, Scotty standing over Shelley's dismembered corpse in the living room of the cabin. So Scotty wanted to bury what was left of Shelley. Bury her. Jesus. She expressly wanted to be cremated, you jerk! But it was as good a plan as any, given that Plan A was hacking her to bits with an axe. And if we did that, then I could sweep up her parts easier with a broom. We had come up to the cabin for a chance at romance, and I'd really hate for the weekend to go to waste, so... Scotty? But instead of rolling on the sheets, we were piling dismembered body parts in them. Either way, it was going to be a tough laundry day. Funny how the old love motor tends to stall when your sweetie turns into a Kandarian demon. Give it a few more years, Ash, and the internet will prove that the love motor is in fact roaring to go with that. Scotty made a makeshift cross out of some branches and stabbed it into Shelley's grave. Although we didn't really bury her that deep, so I think that just went right through her stomach. Never figured him for the religious type. Guess he was hedging his bets. And the Lord said to Moses, "If one of thine becomes possessed by demon, thou shalt bury them with a cross for a grave marker, or else thou better believe you're going to hell too, dude." My old man used to say, "There's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole." Ironically, he ended up dying in a rabbit hole screaming that there was no God. Dad had a funny life like that. Wonder if he'd have any equally useless sayings to cover a night like this.
If you ever travel back in time, don't step on anything.
Because Scotty's newfound piety wasn't going to get us anywhere. If we were going to survive this, it would be by working together. He's right. They'll need to rely on each other. He's already bound and determined to get through this, and teamwork will ensure that they will get through this. Let's see him express that sentiment openly. Dear God. What have we done, Scotty? See? He mentioned we! It was a team effort! Good job! Yeah, we're already back with the incongruity between the narration and what's actually going on. Ash isn't thinking survival right now. He's still in shock from killing Shelley and burying her. Scotty declares that he's gonna leave, that there must be a trail or other way out of the area aside from the destroyed bridge. Ash objects since they can't take Linda with her leg still suffering from pencil stabbing. Look! I'm getting out! I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her. So that's what his full name is. Scott Douchula. I remember thinking, okay, he's scared. He just chopped his girlfriend into spaghetti. Running was a dipshit move, but I couldn't get too pissed. This entire time, the comic has been retconning Scotty into a jerk-ass that Ash barely tolerates, according to the narration, and now, when he is really doing something terrible that he did in the movie as well, this is where you say, "No, don't worry about it, he's just scared." Besides, he wasn't the only pants-pissin' boyfriend who wanted to run screaming into the night. But not because of the demons, I'm just scared of commitment. While Scotty does indeed leave and run off into the woods, Ash returns to Linda, his narration doing a little better job here, wherein he wonders if he was staying because he genuinely wanted to help her, or because he was legitimately terrified of the force in the woods. Unfortunately, Linda's wound is soon overtaken by a stop-motion effect that spreads black ooze or corruption or something throughout her body, and she becomes a deadite. You grow up on a diet of John Wayne, and you're instilled with certain ideas about courage, and whether or not you should play Genghis Khan near a nuclear testing site. Linda rises up, and now we cut to something we didn't see in the original movie. Scotty's trip through the woods. He pushes his way through the brush until he sees a silhouette of a figure also walking through it. He calls out to them, "Me and my friends, we ran into some, trouble back in the woods." Oh yeah, man, that miniseries is terrible. Can you believe Mark Miller thought the Aunt May Teenage Sexcapades book should be canon? He offers the figure money and beer if he'll help him get to the main road. "My friends call me Scotty."
Funny, so do mine.
No way, broski, we're twinsies! No, it is a deadite version of himself. Scotty, of course, confuses all hell.
I'm what you're going to be in about 5 minutes.
Oh my god, my Grandpa Simpson's reference joke was correct.
What do you think? Will the girls still love us with half our face gone?
I mean, I don't think the girls liked you with your face intact, so probably won't make a difference. Scotty quickly returns to the cabin with injuries thanks to his doppelganger, Ash helping him to the couch. The deadite Linda sits in the doorway giggling as all this goes down. I really cannot emphasize enough how good this movie is, especially for low-budget horror, for building tension and atmosphere. The possessed Linda being this giggling, creepy, almost clown-like figure with the messed-up makeup and the zombie-like Cheryl in the basement, barely any recognizable features anymore, just constantly taunting and terrorizing our hero with barely any reprieve from all this. Ash! It's not gonna let us leave! The future version of me kept Minnesota goodbying me! We were saying our farewells for an hour before I gave up! Ash tries to encourage him that they're gonna get out of there, wanting to know if he was able to find a way around the bridge, but he just rambles in fear. Ash slaps him to try to get him to focus, which he did do in the movie, though it looks like he does it harder here. Ash starts to lose it as the taunting continues, a fact even he admits to in the narration, and Scotty encourages him to shoot the giggling Linda. He pulls out a rifle, which was apparently different from the shotgun they found in the basement because he says Scotty brought this one along for protection, and aims it at Linda. But she then reverts back to normal, pleading with Ash not to let them take her away again. That's another thing about the Deadites. They are cruel and manipulative like that. And yet we see in Evil Dead 2 that their influence can be fought and expelled, so you can't rule out the possibility that it is the real them talking. Mind you, one of those times in Evil Dead 2 was when they were a disembodied head held in some clamps, so probably not the real them at that point. Unless they know a really good magic trick. Cheryl from the cellar claims that she's okay now too, but when Ash leans in closer to investigate, the deadite Cheryl reaches out and grabs him, Linda soon reverting to her deadite state as well. We're gonna get you, we're gonna get you, not another peep, you're gonna go to sleep. Well, we're not gonna sleep when you act that creepy, lady! Linda's just sitting there being spooky and annoying, so Ash decides to drag her outside so he doesn't have to listen to her. He tries to give Scotty some water and encourages him that the sun will be up soon and they can try to escape, but Scotty's already dead from his injuries. And unfortunately, he must have left the door open because Linda suddenly sneaks up behind him with the Kandarian dagger and attacks, stabbing his shoulder and licking the blood. She licked that knife like a kid licking the frosting off a birthday candle, with near regret as they start tasting the wax. Realizing that Linda and Cheryl are truly gone now and he's all alone, Ash manages to stab Linda with the dagger and prepares to dismember her. However, as the adrenaline and panic wear off, he starts thinking back to all the times he had with her. Linda, I had a wonderful time. I did too. It's refreshing to go out with a real southern gentleman. Okay, this really confused me because, Ash does not have a southern accent, and Bruce Campbell is from Michigan. But apparently the movie takes place in Tennessee, so maybe the character is meant to be Southern, at least in the first film, though Ash vs. Evil Dead retcons it all to take place in Michigan as well. The series continuity is a bit loose, is what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, aside from the Southern gentleman line, there's nothing that requires it to be set in the South or Michigan, just took me by surprise is all. But yeah, Ash remembering making love to Linda prevents him from being able to cut up her body. Maybe someday I'd be able to take a chainsaw to my girlfriend, but it wasn't gonna be today. Ugh, don't you hate it when a movie sequel baits before they even know if there'll be a sequel? Wait. Still, she does seem to be dead, so he decides to bury her. And hey, Shelley seems to have stayed down. Once he's done, he spots the necklace he gave her earlier and reaches down to grab it, but then Linda's arm reaches up and grabs him. She pulls herself up and out of the ground. God damn it, Linda, now I gotta dig the hole again! Issue 3 ends with Ash swinging his shovel so hard that her head comes off. What, no snarky comment in the narration like, home run swing? I'm just remembering how horrible it all is to lose the woman you love. You're losing your touch, future Ash. Our final issue's cover is okay, Ash aiming a shotgun at Cheryl on the ground. Nothing particularly unique about it compared to the others, but it's alright. Mind you, the perspective being from the floor means that Ash looks a little lumpy, especially with the shading hiding his leg details. That means that instead of his knee looking bent like it is, it's just one big tree trunk that goes up into his hip. We open with a flashback to Ash and Linda having sex in his car. No, wait. Go back. This was Linda, remember? Only 5'4", but she was my mountain of love. Lovecraft's less remembered sequel to At the Mountains of Madness. This flashback was of course not in the movie, particularly not this face that Ash makes. Though maybe that's from Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 2? She said I was her first. I told her she was the best. I had the feeling we were both liars, but at least I was honest about it. In a great transition, we cut to the present, where Linda's headless body is spilling blood and guts on Ash's face while she sits on top of him. What a difference a day makes. Now this is the only way I can get off. He kicks the body off of him. I had decapitated my girlfriend, flailed around the yard with her headless corpse. That was it. We were officially over. I got Scotty in the divorce. I guess getting her head cut off is enough dismemberment for this story, as he's able to return to the cabin safely. Although he is of course not safe, since in the intermediate time, Cheryl has managed to bust out of the cellar. She tries to attack him from the outside, but he uses the shotgun to shoot her across the face. Unfortunately, he's forgotten about that rifle and now doesn't have any shotgun shells, the rest having been left in the cellar. He heads down after them, but things continue to go wrong. A pipe bursts above his head, spilling blood out all over him. They were telling me this wasn't over. Also, that they thought I was Carrie. A record player and a film projector that happened to be in the basement start playing, much to Ash's growing annoyance. But if this hellspawn thought I was gonna play Buster Keaton and dance to their tune, they could kiss my pucker. Charlie Chaplin for life, you bastards! He retrieves the shells, but then can hear Linda's voice taunting him again. And then it all stopped. I didn't know it then, but there had been a change in strategy. Now, Monty will move along the coast to Messina from Syracuse while Patton covers his left flank. He realizes that instead of attacking him directly, the Force will instead try to torture him psychologically. And it's off to a pretty good start as Ash starts hearing random noises and he tries to pull himself together by looking into a mirror, but when he touches the mirror, his hand passes into it as if it was made of water. It remains a great effect even to this day, though unfortunately this comic doesn't do the rest of the sequence, the camera angles, the noises and movement, nearly as much justice, sadly. But I saw through their little game. They were trying to psych me out. Yes, this is my "I'm not being fooled by this" expression. All I had to do is keep my head. You know, unlike Linda.
Oh, good. I was starting to feel like a real dick.
Why in the hell did I keep that damn necklace? I still had the receipt. Maybe it was so I could take it back. Why in the hell does this comic keep trying to paint Ash in the douchiest light and strip him of humanity and likable qualities? Like, they try to rectify that with, or maybe it was because I really loved her. At least that's what I tried to tell myself. But that just reinforces how absolutely dickish he's being since, yeah, he already admitted he loved her. But saying he was just telling himself that implies that he didn't, and he's just such an asshole that we can't root for him. This retcon narration is just bound and determined to ruin his character. Cheryl attacks again, and Ash has to shoot her once more. Except this time it looks like her head gets blown off, even though that doesn't actually happen.
Great continuity!
And we're not done with the art screwing up good shots. Scotty returns to life, but the shot of Scotty sitting up from the ground quickly is absent from the comic, just showing an awful close-up of his face. It's less spooky and more, why does it look like he has a dog snout? While Scotty tries to strangle Ash, we see Cheryl outside with her head, of course, still intact and a big gash across her mouth, indicating he missed. And judging from the racket outside, whatever was left of Cheryl wanted a piece of me too. 2 steps over and it could have just walked inside. But even though they were stupid, these demons were strong. Ash, stop trying to be a snarky, nitpicky critic of your situation. That's my job. Ash shoves his thumbs into Scotty's eye holes and brings out the cream filling. But more importantly, he notices that Scotty's back seems to be smoking. It's then he notices that the evil book, which they don't actually call the Necronomicon in this miniseries or the movie, as it would be eventually known, is right next to the fire, smoldering it a little. 2 plus 2 suddenly equaled 4. Before then, it equaled New Jersey. Burn the book, burn the demons. Freeze the book, have a tasty treat for later. Cheryl storms in. Join us! Join us! And she knocks him down. Well, you make a convincing sales pitch. Scotty and Cheryl start beating on him, holding him back from grabbing the book. However, he manages to use Linda's necklace to snag hold of the book, then toss it directly into the fire. The Deadites don't just burn, though. They melt, demonic hands reach out of them, they leak a whole crap ton of creamed corn, and eventually they're just a puddle of goop. The sun is out, to his surprise, and he emerges from the cabin, only for the unseen force that was in the woods to suddenly rush towards him, and he screams as it goes to black. Then I woke up. Patrick Duffy was in my shower for some reason. Yes, in an addition to this adaptation, the final retcon of this whole thing. The events of the original Evil Dead are revealed to be a dream. Ash has fallen asleep in his car with Linda. Was it really that simple? Was it all just a dream? Scotty, Cheryl, Shelley, I just made them up?
We hope you've enjoyed No Moral Theater, ladies and gentlemen.
It had been one bitchin' nightmare, but that's all it was. No, it was also a massive waste of time for anyone who bought and read this. And so our comic ends with Ash and Linda approaching the cabin to no doubt begin the events of Evil Dead 2, where it's just Ash and Linda there. I had a feeling the best was yet to come. And to be fair, I think Evil Dead 2 is the best of the original trilogy, but still, these comics are a very mixed bag, but leaning towards suck. I get it. It's their way to resolve the age-old, is Evil Dead 2 a sequel or remake, by having the original movie's events just have been a dream, possibly influenced by the demonic force, but it was all a dream, more often than not feels like a massive cop-out and cheat to the audience. And in this case, it raises more questions than it answers. Like, why was Ash narrating the whole time if this was all in the distant past, when in fact nothing of the sort was happening? Was he dreaming the narration? Like there was some Rod Serling version of Bruce Campbell just off to the side? Hell, that makes the narration extra pointless and a dubious creative decision, given it was all going to be revealed as to not have happened. Forget the snark and jokey bits, what about moments like, there are few times when you can point at something that changed your life forever, when he found the book? And if the evil force wasn't influencing his dream, how come the events of this dream so closely matched up to what was about to happen to the real him and Linda? Wouldn't he see the book and the tape recorder and be like, you know, maybe I could just not touch these after what happened in my dream? Even if we ignore the dream ending, as an adaptation, it has some issues. The big one, of course, is the constant narrating that adds nothing but jokey jokes to bits that really did not need them, screwing with the tone and atmosphere of the original movie. I will grant you that by the nature of the simple plot, the adaptation covers pretty much everything and does some interesting things to expand on the material, especially for only a 4-issue miniseries, by adding in the flashbacks or what happened to Scotty when he left the cabin. They're not strictly necessary, but they provide some additional context to character relationships, and in regards to Shelley, the slightly odd bit of her killing the bird. That bit in particular raises some ideas that sadly go unexplored, that maybe she was always a bit kill crazy, but it's adding some depth where we didn't have any before. But unfortunately, the adaptation still leaves out stuff that should have been kept in. Cheryl's drawing, the claw hand destroyed bridge, the bit of Scotty sitting up as a deadite. It feels like they could have done so much better there. The art is also a bit iffy. In some cases, you can tell they just slapped some filters on top of a screenshot of the movie, which is lazy at best, but at least there were plenty of moments you could tell were created for it. The overall effect of it does match the creepy mood of Evil Dead, and it does work for sequential art, but those glaring omissions or some of the weirder art moments still stick out as bad. Overall, this could have been worse, but it should have been a lot better. Next time, well, since we're playing catch up with October anyway, let's do the Clone Saga review to end out the year.
Bah! Even if the comic does have problems, it's still horror, which makes it better than your namby-pamby cheese mask.
I'm getting a little sick and tired of you bad-mouthing Christmas. Go gargle some pumpkin spice if you really want October and December.
Halloween should be every season, but especially now, you candy cane sucking elf lover.
How the hell do you get to speak for an entire holiday anyway? Who the hell are you to Halloween?
Who am I? Oh, you crappy little Christmas cracker. Don't you know? You feel it in the air when nestled in your bed. That special time of year when everything is dead. I can't conceal my jack-o'-lantern smile. To have myself a holiday and keep it for a while. No carol of the bells, no one-horse open sleigh. I'm slashing through the snow and laughing all the way. So trim the tree until it's just a stick. No treats inside your stocking, but they're sure to be a brick. Call me the spirit in the season. A holly jolly host of horrors.
Oh, you're the spirit in it? You're making it all about yourself?
Why not to make your holiday all about Santa or Jesus?
True, but it's also about more than that.
The weather may be frightful, each dark and snowy nightfall, but that's why God invented ugly sweaters. So let's keep the vibes merry and look forward to sharing an
opportunity to come together. This is the spirit of the season, with tidings of comfort and joy.
Howling at the moon, dancing in the dark,
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
the burning of the Yule, and cookies with the... Wait, what?
Cheesy songs with an epic choir. This is the spirit of the season.
Call me the spirit in the season.
For all of mankind to employ.
A holly jolly host of horror.
This is the spirit of the season.
Call me the spirit in the season.
With tidings of comfort and joy.
Harvey, what the hell are you doing here? I heard a song, I wanted to get in on it. Now the song is over, I'm out. Later, kid. Later, Lon Chaney Sr.
He ripped me off!
Look, this needs to be resolved.
It resolves with the annihilation of Christmas.
It's not gonna happen, dude. You're gonna have to kill every single person who celebrates it, either religiously or secularly, and that's kind of a lot.
I do enjoy killing, but I admit that logistically that could be a problem.
So yes, we need to put a stop to this. Look, I know how we're gonna finally end this. I'm gonna get you a gift, Moarte. I'm gonna find you a Christmas present so comforting, so endearing, that your heart will grow 3 sizes. I'm gonna get you something that will make you appreciate the Christmas season and fill your soul with joy. I'm gonna get you something that will make you recognize and understand the true meaning of Christmas. Something that will show you that the holiday means more to you than you realize. A recognition of something that's beyond politics and rivalry and...
This formal peace treaty between Halloween and Christmas, as undersigned by the representatives listed below, recognizes that while this rivalry may continue, open hostility and the state of war between the two parties has ended.
I could have just gotten you a present.
Even if your schmaltzy scheme had actually worked, I would have been obligated to get you a present. And until you had learned to appreciate the bag full of maggots,
It was in my birthday cake!
then I think it's best if we just resolve things like this.
Fine. Did we correct the wording on Article 7?
Article 7, the island of misfit toys shall be declared neutral ground until a provisional government can be established and a formal, free elections can be held. Halloween Town's sovereign status is recognized by both parties, though the treaty committee strongly recommends renaming the city so that its political allegiance will be more ambiguous in the future.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but we need to make it look like we actually tried to make it work. Oh, what about the section on solving future disputes?
Article 14. If either party has a grievance in the future, a conference shall be held no later than Labor Day to resolve the issue. Not Thanksgiving?
Neither of us are particularly attached to Thanksgiving, and it's too late to resolve any Halloween-related disputes by then.
And the restraining order provision?
Article 3. Christmas and Halloween decorations in stores must remain at least 20 feet apart if they exist simultaneously. The amount of space allocated for Christmas cannot exceed the amount given for Halloween until November 1st, at which point Halloween must begin reducing its space and be cleared entirely by December 1st. Stores that fail to comply with this shall be cursed with rats and haunted by demonic specters for 4 months.
8 months!
4 months is the best I could do. They wanted 2 months originally.
Ugh, fine. Are you ready to sign?
If you are.
I'm not, but I suppose this is the best we can do for now.
Initial?
The war on Christmas is officially over.
May we never know such tragedy in our lifetime again.
Sure, yeah, that's going to happen. I'm going back to sleep now. Merry Tish Scram or whatever.
And a happy new yeast infection for you, asshole! Anyway, thanks for acting as a treaty moderator, Vika.
I was having a boring afternoon anyway. Sorry that it didn't end in Christmas victory.
Didn't it, though? Morte may have brought more spooky to the season, more horror instead of holly. But in the end, I got what Christmas is all about anyway. Peace on earth, joy to the world. And I think it was worth it.
Yeah. So, where's my present?
What?
You forgot to get me presents.
I was in the middle of a war! I'm sorry!
Next year, do your own title cards.
God bless us, everyone. And especially bless my poor wallet, because I have a lot of shopping to do. I'm what you're going to be in about 5 minutes. I know it might be too late to warn you, but keeping a good skin moisturizer is going to be helpful to you real soon. Sorry for spoilers.
Merry Christmas!
Alright.
Subscribe to Vika's Art Room.
Hello, my friends. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications on new video releases. If you'd like to support future videos, you can check out my Patreon, buy merch from the store envy link in the description, or check out the t-shirts available from Teespring. Thanks for watching.